November 22nd, 1983. This is Joe Todd, an interview with Maude Hess. Miss Hess, where were you born?
In the Indian Territory, it's just Indian Territory, and what was that county's name? Let's see. If if I'd known what you would be asking, I could have been.
Was it Ballard or Watts, Mom? Was it Ballard or Watts?
It was called Ballard, Oklahoma. Ballard, Indian Territory.
Yeah. Was that in the old Going Snake District?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
When's your birthday?
September the 19th, 1887. Was that my birthday?
Right, Mom.
Who was your father?
Tom Welch.
Was he from Indian Territory?
Yes, he was an Indian, part Indian. My mother was part Indian. Naturally, I am.
Who was your mother?
Fanny Welch. Fanny Mitchell used to be.
What kind of work did your father do?
What did he do?
Yeah, what kind of work?
Well, he was just a farmer, and he was. What was he at one time?
Justice of the Peace.
And then he had I can't remember anything anymore. When you get 96, your memory goes.
Did your grandparents come over the trail?
No, it was their grandparents, I suppose, or their parents probably.
Yeah.
No, my father was from Georgia. My mother was from Tennessee. I'm so short of breath.
You want to take a rest?
Just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard any stories about the Trail of Tears?
Not recently, no, I haven't.
Yeah. But you say, was it your grandparents that came over the trail?
Well, really and truly, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, they came by covered wagon from Georgia.
Yeah.
Grandpa was 4
My
years
father
old
did,
when
but
they
my mother was from,
Tennessee.
her people came from Tennessee.
Yeah.
But Grandpa was 4 when they left Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean Georgia to come to Oklahoma.
Did you know your grandfather?
Oh yes. He
Did-
died in '49.
Did he ever talk about?
Oh, he talked about a lot of things. Grandpa really had a good memory.
Yeah. Did he remember anything about the trail, or?
I never did hear him say anything about it, but I know the old Baptist mission up there between Westfield and Watts was built after the Trail of Tears.
Yes.
Yeah, that was what? Jesse Bushyhead. Yeah.
1837 when it was built. And the church still stands there.
Yeah. Yeah, the cemetery's there too.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the Bushyhead home still stands there.
Yes, that's where Mom's gonna be buried down there.
Yeah.
Old Baptist Mission.
How big was the town of Ballard?
Oh, it never was only just one store. I never was 2 stores there. Seemed like years ago there was 2 stores just for a short time, just country stores.
Yeah. Who ran the store there at Ballard?
Well, oh, I know, but I can't think right now.
Well, Mom, you said Papa had a store down there when you was married.
Yeah, my husband had it. It's just little country store.
Mm-hmm. What, there at Ballard?
Yeah, Ballard.
And they had the roundhouse down there at that time too.
Yeah.
At
Now, now, what's your full name?
Rothammer.
And you're her daughter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
And you were born at
I
C.
was born at Ballard.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I was thinking Westfield, but you were born at Ballard.
No, I was born at Ballard.
Yeah.
I was born in 1923. I'm 6 years old.
Yeah. 1923.
My birthday is the 14th of September. Mom's
Yeah.
19th, and her sister lives at Westfield. Lois Holland's birthday is the 16th.
Do you remember the Dawes Commission?
Yes, the Dawes Commission. Yes. You see, we were registered there in Tahlequah at the Dawes Commission.
Tell me what you remember about it.
I don't remember very much about it.
Did you see them doing the survey when they surveyed all the lands?
Well, yeah, they surveyed on the land, but I can't remember
Yeah.
who did it. And you see, at that time, why, we didn't have any lines. It's just Indian Territory. And then when they surveyed it, why, then they had counties. And
Where did you get your allotment?
when did I?
Where? What part of?
I lived at Ballard,
Mm-hmm. How many acres did you get?
80.
80.
Mm-hmm.
How did they determine how many acres you were going to get?
I think it was according to the price of the land at that time. That's, as well as I remember, that's the way it was.
Now, did you get river bottom or
No, upland.
upland?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the price of upland?
Well, about $5 was probably the top price of most of it. If it had any cultivation on it, otherwise it's just about $1 an acre.
Yeah. How did they determine how much?
I don't know how they did it.
I mean, did each Indian get so much money, and then they were given land, or?
I don't know. We each one got so much as an allotment.
How much was your land valued at total?
Well, I don't really know, but I got 80 acres.
Yeah. It's about $5. That'd be,
Yeah, about
what,
$5 an
400?
acre.
So did each person get like $400 worth of land, or did it vary?
It's only the price of the land.
Mm-hmm. So if you got river bottom, you'd get less land,
Oh, yes.
and then upland you get more land.
Yes.
But each person got the same amount of money.
Yes, the
Okay.
same amount.
Any idea what that value was? Was it $400, or did it?
No, I don't really know
Yeah.
how much you. I've wished so many times I could have learned so much if I had written down a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
and asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But like my father coming from Georgia and my mother born in Tennessee, well, I wasn't interested in things like that then. I wished so many times. Now, my father wasn't an educated man, but he had a wonderful memory. He could just tell you the day they left Georgia and where they stopped. They was in a wagon, of course, and where they'd stop on the road. He could tell you everything like that.
How did they group the Indians up to leave? How many, like, did they round up so many and then take off, or
I don't remember.
have you heard how they?
Mm-mm.
I think it's the amount of Indian blood you had kind of determined.
Yeah.
If you was full blood or quarter or whatsoever it was, or 16th or 8th or whatever the amount was. They determined it by that more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me who was Going Snake?
Going Snake.
Yeah.
Well, no, I can't. But we lived in Going Snake District.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard who he was?
He must have been one of the tribal Indians. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
I guess you fella could find out that down at the,
Telephone?
huh?
Down at telephone.
Well, the library probably you could,
Yeah, at the library.
Mm-hmm.
you could find out.
Yeah. Can you tell me what kind of chores you did as
When
a
I
child?
was a kid,
Yeah.
just like we do now. We worked on, I was born on a farm, lived on a farm all my life, and I never did work much in the field, very little in the field, but we had to do, we was always busy. Kids then didn't have all the leisure time that they do now.
Mm-hmm. Did you like do laundry?
Laundry,
Yeah.
not too much.
What about making soap?
Oh, I made a lot of pots of soap.
How do you do it? How do you make soap?
Well, you save your meat skins and cracklings, and of course I'd have to have a recipe now to know how to make it, but I used it and you empty that in a big wash pot so much and put in so much meat skins or grease or whatever you're going to make it out of, and stir it, and oh, it looks so good, looks like you could eat it.
You have to
Just
put
looks
lye
like,
in it.
huh? Yeah, and put
Don't
a
forget the lye and
concentrated lye in it.
Now, did you make your lye or did you buy it?
No, oh, when I was a child, you probably never did see an ice hopper, did you? Well, they take a log and kind of hollow it out, then they put in the sides like that.
Kind of V shape?
And yes, and fill it with good wood ashes, then pour so much water on that each day, and then they'd set a crock or jar or something that lye wouldn't eat, you know, and let that drip, and then save that when they got so much, and then they'd empty it in a big old wash pot, and so much meat scraps or whatever you made it with, and they'd just make beautiful soap. Oh, it just looked so good.
What kind of wood makes the best ashes to make lye?
Well, any hardwood, you didn't use any softwood for ashes.
Mm-hmm. So like oak
Like
or
hickory wood
hickory?
or any of the oaks would
Yeah.
make good ashes for lye.
What is it in the ashes that makes the lye when the water
I
runs through?
don't know.
Now you say you went to school in Tahlequah?
Yes, in later years I did, yeah.
Okay, where did you start to school originally?
Where did I start?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was 9 years old when first I ever went to school. It was in they had, you know what a subscription school is, don't you?
No, ma'am. What
You
is
don't. Well, each parent had to pay so much a month for each child to go to school. That is a subscription. And it's about $1 a month, I think, for each child to go to. That's when we had a public school.
Was it school in Ballard?
No, is a little country. Ballard was just one store, but where we went to school, it was the family that owned the land where the school was and gave the land for the public school. It was called McCoy's.
Yeah, McCoy's.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take a break?
I have to.
Okay.
Was it that old Ballard school?
Yeah.
That's up on the hill? I mean,
At first, I was 9 years old. And you know that hill from the Verge Spring.
oh yeah.
There was a log cabin up there.
Don't
That's-
try to talk, Mom.
Hmm?
Don't try to talk.
Oh, just
Get your
take
breath.
it easy, Will.
Get your breath. He's turned that off, so
Yeah.
Oh,
so just get your breath so you can then you can talk
Do you
better.
remember when did the Cherokee Female Seminary burn? The old one.
18 and 51. I mean, they opened it in 1851, and then it burned, and then they. I'll go get the paper. It's in Sunday's paper.
Okay. Yeah.
When it
about I was more in town than the female schools east of.
well, it's where the Tahlequah University is
Yeah.
right now.
What was the name of the school you went to?
Well, it was a Baptist school, and what did they call that? I can't remember now, but it was a Baptist school.
Was it in Tahlequah itself?
It's about a mile north of town.
Yeah. Okay. What did you study there? What kind of courses?
Well, really, and I never did get to over the 8th grade in school. Just what they took from, of course, up to the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm. When did you go there? What year?
I guess in 1906. Wasn't I married in 1907?
Mom, you were married in 1906.
Yes, June the 17th, 1906.
You'd had to gone to school in 1890s, in the 90s.
How many years did you go to the Baptist school?
Just 2 years.
Just 2 years?
Yeah.
Who was head of that school?
Well, I can't remember. In the last few years, my mind has flown pretty badly.
How many students went there? Was it an all-girls school?
No, the boys went too.
Mm-hmm. How many students went there?
Oh, it varied, just like they had a grade school too. They had from kindergarten on up.
Yeah.
At Tahlequah.
Do you remember Statehood Day?
Who?
Statehood Day,
Oh
1907.
yeah, sure.
Tell me about that day.
Oh, I can't remember. Statehood was 1907.
Yes, ma'am. Do you remember about any big celebrations they had, or
No,
were
I
the
don't.
people were the people around here for statehood, or were they
Well, you
against
see,
it? Or
I had never been at that time, I don't suppose, out of Adair County. So I don't know what it would take place in. Of course, I knew Tulsa would have been a very small place at that time, but still, I'd never been out of Adair County.
Mhm.
You had no way to go
Yeah.
unless you went horseback or in a wagon or foot or buggy, horse and buggy. They're only means of transportation.
Ever hear of the Sequoia Convention?
The what?
Sequoia
Yes,
Convention.
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
What was your husband's name?
Hugh Hess.
Hugh Hess.
Yes, Hugh
Where'd you meet him?
at Ballard. He had a little store down there.
And you were married in 1906?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
June the 17th.
Do you remember the Spanish-American War?
No, I don't. I remember hearing them talk about it, but at that time I wasn't interested. There's a lot of things I wish I'd asked questions of. My father, he had a wonderful memory. He could tell you when they left Georgia and where they stopped. They was in a wagon, of course. Every place they stopped on the road, he could tell you what day it was. But I wasn't interested in.
Yeah. I did the same thing with my grandfather. He's gone now.
But Grandpa could tell you the hour and everything. And what day of the week it
What was his name?
Tom Welch.
Tom
Thomas,
Welch.
Thomas J.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson Welch was his name.
Was your grandfather in the Civil War?
I imagine he was. I don't know. My father was. How old was he when he said they could hear the war? It's Chickamauga. They could hear the guns, you know, from where he lived in Georgia.
Did you hear your grandfather talk about those stories?
No, they never did.
No, Grandpa never did talk much about that. But he said he was 4 years old when they left Georgia to come to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. What part of Georgia did they live in?
Oh,
I never heard Grandpa mention the name of that, but seems to me like Mom Betty's got something that Grandpa, where Grandpa lived. You know, since Martha Ann was taking the family history and all that stuff, finding out all the family tree and all that stuff. Mom can't remember about what Georgia.
What about World War One? 1917, 1918.
Yes, I can't remember. Just recently, my mind got so badly mixed up.
Can you just tell me some stories you remember about your childhood? What you did? Your favorite memories?
No,
Tell him about coming home from school and your pig waiting for you.
Oh, we had to go on the train from Ballard to Talca to when I was going to school last.
I told him tell him about the pig waiting at the gate for you every evening when you got home from school.
The what?
Your pig.
You had a pig that waited on you?
Yeah.
Well, it's about a half-grown pig. Every evening when I came from school, that pig would meet me at the front gate. Every evening that happened. That pig knew when I'd be home. It's about half-grown. I'd pat it on the back.
Sound like it was a pet.
Yes, it was a pet.
Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't think pig that have that much sense.
Mm-hmm. I've heard pigs are pretty smart.
Yes, they are.
They are.
And when I'd come home from school, that was when I was going to school in the country, you know. If that pig was lying down, it'd get up and come to the front gate and meet me. I'd pat it on the back.
Was the school in Tahlequah a boarding school?
Yes, at the same school. You could, if you didn't live there, you could stay somewhere at some boarding house. I had an uncle, and his family lived there, but we didn't stay at their home. My oldest brother and I, we boarded out the school. When you get 96, you can't remember.
Did you live in a dormitory?
At school,
Yeah.
yes.
How big was the room you stayed in?
Oh, we had. No, I didn't stay in the dormitory. It was always filled up with older students. But I boarded at the school.
Mm-hmm. Was the school strictly for the Cherokees?
No.
So anyone could go there?
Yes, you could. At all ages,
Yeah. Did it go
from the kindergarten on up.
Did it go through high school?
Mm-hmm.
Did it go past high school?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's your fondest memory of going to school there? What do you remember most about that school?
About it. Well, it'd just be almost like a home, you know, when you went there and enrolled, that was your home during that 9 months. Of course, we could go home ever so often, but
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any stories that your mother's told that
she just always said she went over there, but we never did know. She never did say much about what happened when she went there.
Let me see.
I won't be much help because I can't remember.
What's your fondest childhood memory?
Beg your pardon.
Your fondest childhood memory.
Well, I've got so many I couldn't tell you what was the most remarkable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess the most would be I'd have to give credit to my parents. I had good parents, really had good parents.
Did your father ever talk about how he felt about the removal?
No. You mean on the Trail of Tears?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, he was young. How wasn't he just about 4 years old, Grandpa? When
Yeah.
he wouldn't remember too much about it.
Now, is he buried there at Baptist Mission?
Hmm?
Is he buried at Baptist Mission?
He and Grandma
Mm-hmm.
both are. My father and I have 4 brothers buried there. Baptist Mission Cemetery.
Yeah, they had that big bushy head stone there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, you know Mr. Crittenden?
Oh yes.
Yeah, he was my guide when I was down there.
Oh.
Who's that?
Mr. Crittenden?
Crittenden.
Yeah.
We know the Crittendens.
Yeah.
Well, what else can I ask? What do you remember of the town of Tahlequah?
Oh, it was just such a small place. There seemed like there was 2 grocery stores there at that time. One thing I can remember, you could buy a loaf of bread for a nickel or 6 for a quarter.
That's a pretty good price.
Yeah, getting 6 loaves of bread for a quarter. But where'd you get the quarter?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Where does the name Tahlequah come from?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know. You know,
It's
and they maybe couldn't pronounce it or something.
You
but
probably
they always
couldn't.
call it
No, it was
Tahlequah.
Tahlequah.
Was it founded pretty much right after the trail ended?
I guess it was.
It probably was. I don't remember the year that the Trail of Tears was founded.
Well, it was over several years, if I'm not mistaken.
It was 1800 and something when the Trail of
Yeah, it
Tears.
was the 1830s, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's over several year period. You know, there wasn't one big trail,
No.
just a series of.
Yeah.
Did you ever go see that play, the Trail?
No, I've been there. But you know Marty Hagerstrand? He used to be director of the Cherokee Museum there.
No,
That's all I get.
don't know him.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
No, but I went to see the first part of the Trail of Tears, and Ross Swimmer was all of those, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the big chiefs and all of those was in that.
Yeah.
I can remember when they were registering everybody.
Tell me about that.
Well, all I'd know. I don't know don't remember whether somebody went around and collected the names or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, they might have done that at morning and evening too, but every day about 1 o'clock, they'd come out and call over who they wanted to interview that day, call their names.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Do you know what your number is?
No, I've got the number though.
Yeah.
Go get it.
You say that you're a cousin to Miss Walden, Elizabeth Walden?
Yeah, yes. Lizzie, my mother, my mother's first cousin.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember of Zeke Proctor?
Well, he all his hair was way down. He had
To his shoulders?
never did have it. I don't know whether he ever had his hair cut in his life or not, but it's down to his shoulder. I was afraid of him.
How come?
Well, in my childhood days, you'd heard so many stories about him. I didn't know when maybe he might murder kids.
Was he marshal when you were a child?
Yes. Or was he? Let's see. Yes, he had some kind of office. Of course, in later years, I wasn't afraid of him, but that's when I was just a little kid, wearing that long hair, you know. I was very superstitious.
He was, Zeke?
They said he was. You know, they said one time, I don't know, that's been years ago, and I think they just one store it was. And he went to the store, I don't know who was with him, and when he was coming back, he imagined he'd bought a plug of tobacco, you know what a plug is,
Yeah.
and ever who it was, in his mind there was a following him, he had to give that plug of tobacco, throw it to somebody unseen, I think. He was really superstitious. His first wife was my mother's first cousin. His second wife was my father's sister.
Mm-hmm.
He was harmless, though, but we'd heard so many stories about him. We were really afraid of him.
Yeah.
And really superstitious. I'm not superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the name of the where she went to school, Cherokee Baptist Academy.
Cherokee Baptist Academy.
I didn't know where those were. I
This
didn't know.
was in that drawer in there, Mom. This is your tribe and roll number.
Hmm. What's number 17092. So you were enrolled in 1901.
Oh, I was.
Yeah. Hmm.
Said you was 13 on that.
Hmm?
Said you were 13 on that.
Well, I didn't know very much. If I could think as good as I did just a short time ago, but I guess when you get 96, your mind gets pretty fuzzy.
Oh, you did pretty good.
Does your, I mean, you have that turned off now, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. What I was gonna say, she had a stroke, a slight stroke back in June, and that's why she can't remember a lot of things now. But before that, she could just tell you anything you wanted to know. She's like her dad.
Yeah.
Grandpa, well, should I tell you? I never saw a man like him.
Well, way back when he's growing up, there wasn't too many things to remember, and he remembered everything that could be remembered.
He remembered the day of the week,
Yes,
the hour, and everything
and where
else.
they stopped on the road, and where they ate, and everything. Goodness, I couldn't remember if it happened yesterday.
Did the family in Georgia own any slaves? Were they slave owners?
Yes, way back years ago, they did. I've heard my father talk about after they freed the slaves, one of their slaves had them to come over and eat dinner with them. Because they was good to them, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a lot of those, the ones that own slaves is kind of mean to them.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
No.
I mean, I can't see being mean to somebody and whipping them like they show on television on how they'd whip them. And I've read books where they'd whip them till their backs would just be bloody.
Well,
Didn't they have a whipping block? I believe they did, way back in those days.
I think they whipped the runaway slaves.
The runaway slaves,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's something I just can't understand. Slavery.
No, I don't believe in slavery.
Yeah. Well, Miss Hess, I want to thank you.
I didn't know if I could keep my thoughts together like I could just a short time ago. But you don't know how fast your mind's getting away from you.
Well, maybe we can do it again one of these days if
Maybe
you get to feeling better.
Yes,
She feels better in the afternoon, late afternoon.
Yeah.
In the evening, really. She feels better than at any time.
Okay.
I don't know why it is, but now if anybody wanted, the phone would ring and anybody wanted to talk to her, she couldn't say one word when she'd pick up the receiver. She just, nothing would come out. I don't know what it is about the phone, but.
Yeah. Huh.
But you see, I didn't come till early this morning.
Well, we had a good conversation yesterday.
Well, sometimes now if she's not, it kind of excites her or something. Anyway, then she stutters sometimes whenever she's trying to talk. It takes a while for her to get a word out.
Yeah.